Very good evening to all. In the previous topic, I explained to you about the tissue and we studied like which tissue helps in the conduction and the transportation of the water and the food. Now, in this video, we will be studying how the water is absorbed by the root and how it is conducted throughout the plant. Because we know that suppose this is a plant. Imagine it as a grown up tree also, or a small plant also. These are the roots and these are the minute structures are known as root hairs. Now the root hair helps in the absorption of the water, and the water has to move in the upward direction. In the physics I taught you like gravity is there which pulls each and everything downwards. Okay, but now in this you can see that the water has to move upwards against the gravity, means it requires some energy to work against the gravity. We will discuss this concept also, how the water is working, how the transportation of water is done in the plant against the gravity. But before that, first of all we will study how the water is absorbed by the plant. If we want to drink the water, we will open the mouth and we will pour the water inside and automatically it will go inside. But how the plants absorb water? So to understand this one, first of all we will go through the structure of the root. This is a root and this minute hair like structure is known as root hairs. Why it is present in the root? So as to increase the rate of absorption of the water. If we will dissect it, means if we will cut this will be the internal structure of the root under the microscopic view. This is a root here and this is the internal cells of the root. Now this whitish portion, it is known as the cell membrane, and this membrane is semi permeable, means it allows few types of materials to enter the cell and to leave the cell. Now how the root absorbs the water is by the process of osmosis. By the process of osmosis, the root of the plant absorbs the water. As we know that we pour the water in the soil, now there will be excess molecules of the water in the soil. Plant also have few molecules of water. Now when we are comparing the both, we will say that there is high concentration of water molecule outside the root, whereas there is very low concentration of water molecules in the root. What is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane towards the region of lower concentration. In the soil higher concentration, inside the root is low concentration, and as I told you that the cell membrane act as a semi-permeable membrane. Now this movement that water molecules start moving from region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. By this process, the water is absorbed by the root hairs of the plant or the root. What is osmosis? The process by which the molecules of solvent is water, move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. What is semi-permeable membrane in the case of root or the root hair? That is cell membrane. Membrane is a kind of sheet that encloses the cell. This is the process by which water is absorbed. And we know that plant need minerals also for the proper growth of the plant. So how minerals are absorbed by the root? The process by which the root absorbs the mineral for the plant is diffusion. Now what is diffusion? The movement of solute or the salt molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Now there is a point to be noted that in the both the cases the movement is there from higher to lower. What is the difference is that it is talking about the solvent, means water particles, whereas it is talking about the solute, means salt molecules. You have to keep this in the mind. Diffusion is the process of solvent moving from higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. It is important. Diffusion is movement of salt molecules from region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. What will happen with the water molecules? Salt molecules will also be present in the soil, and very few salt molecules will be present inside the root. Again, excess of salt molecules are present, higher concentration, inside the root is lower concentration. Same process will take place, that it will start moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. This is known as diffusion. Now what is active transport? It is very important topic. Active transport is the same thing, but now what happen when the root here will keep on observing the water as well as the salt minerals, what will happen? A condition will come where there will be excess of water and mineral molecules inside the root, and there will be very less water and salt molecules outside the root. Now the condition will be vice versa, that higher concentration will be inside the root and lower concentration will be outside the root. But still the plant will not stop observing the water and mineral. It will keep on observing the water and mineral. The process, what is active transport? Active transport is the process in which the molecule will start moving from low concentration to the region of higher concentration by using an energy. This is known as active transport. Movement of mineral ions from a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration by using the energy. This is simply known as active transport. This is the internal view of root. These are the root cells, and this is xylem, and this is the phloem. Now what will happen? This is the root here. More concentration of water molecules and salt molecules were too high, means higher concentration was there, and inside low concentration was there. By the process of diffusion and osmosis, the water molecules as well as the salt molecules entered the root. Now you can imagine the concentration was high over here but very less in these cells. Again the same process took place inside the root also. Concentration, low concentration, high concentration. The molecule started to move over here by the process of diffusion. The same with the next cell. Diffusion and osmosis, diffusion and osmosis, diffusion and osmosis. Why? Because when the molecules are entering over here, high concentration will be here and low concentration on this side. The molecules will start moving from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Then by the same process, osmosis and diffusion, it finally reaches the xylem. And the xylem is the tissue which conducts the water. And this process, that is absorption of minerals, this I have explained you, that mineral is absorbed by diffusion and by the active transport. Now the final topic is transport of water in xylem or rise of cell sap. Imagine it is a plant. or it is a tall tree, or you just consider for an example. These are the root. We just understood like how water is taken up inside the plant by the process of diffusion or osmosis or active transport. Osmosis, diffusion, active transport. This is what we have studied up till now. Now, by the same process of osmosis and diffusion, it will enter the xylem and the water will be conducted throughout the plant, because leaves also need water and each and every part of the plant requires water. Now what will happen, suppose this is the xylem and water is entering, and water alone is not present. With the water, what were present? Minerals were present. And when there is a continuous flow of water, the minerals will start accumulating at the walls of the xylem. And because of this, because of the accumulation of minerals, there will be a reduction in the flow of water. Means these will start acting as a obstacle. It will start acting as a obstacle, means very few water molecules will be able to pass through this region. Because of this, what will happen? These were the root hairs. The root hairs were keep on observing the water, and the water are moving upside. But over here what happened? A traffic jam took place, means the water is not able to move upward. Now what will happen? Over here there will be a pressure of water, means water is keep on entering the xylem, but it is not able to move upward because of the accumulation. Accumulation means gathering of minerals, which is stopping the flow of water. Now what will happen in this particular area? Concentration of water will increase. Now what will happen? These water molecules will start pushing. It will start pushing upward, because it cannot move downward, because downward what is happening? Diffusion is taking place, osmosis is taking place, and active transportation is taking place. Means the water are keep on entering. It cannot go down also. Now what will happen? The water particles which are present over here, it will start pushing this portion, and because of the push, the water will start flowing normally. This process, because of which, why it is happening? Because the roots are observing the water. The process by which the flow of water in the xylem is increased is known as root pressure. I am repeating, what is root pressure? Water is absorbed by the root hairs continuously, but in the xylem portion there was no flow. There was a decrease or reduction of flow of water. Water was accumulating over here, and because of the pressure increased over here, these water molecules started to push upward, and hence this blockage was, you can say, compensated. And because of this, again there was a normal flow of water. This is known as the root pressure. And when the molecules will come over here, because of high temperature during the daytime, what happens? During the daytime there will be excess of sunlight. Because of excess of sunlight, what will happen? In the upper layer of the leaf, stomata are present. Stomata is nothing, a small opening, and the water molecules will start evaporating from the leaves. The water was observed by the roots, and it was conducted to all the parts of the plant. And now when it reached the leaf, stomata are present. Stomata is a small opening, and through this opening water started to move out, and it started to enter the atmosphere. This process is known as the transpiration. What is transpiration? Transpiration is simply the evaporation of the water from the leaf or from any part of the plant is known as transpiration. Now one term is there, that is transpiration pull. Now what will happen if there is during daytime, if there is excess of sunlight or if there is very high temperature, what will happen? The molecules which are present in the atmosphere, it will start evaporating, it will become water vapor, and it will escape to the it will escape out of the atmospheric layer and it will become clouds. Now what will happen? There will be more conduction of the water. The root will start absorbing more and more water. Why it will start absorbing more and more water? Because there is excess rate, there is a high rate of transpiration of water. What is transpiration of water? As I told you, I am repeating again, that the water which is conducted by the xylem, when it will reach the leaves, in the leaves there are small openings, and from these openings water will escape into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. This is known as the transpiration, and the transpiration increases with the increase in the temperature. If sun is shining brightly, of course automatically there will be high temperature, and because of the high temperature we know that water particles are present in the atmosphere. Suppose in the morning time there was very less sunlight, so there were enough water particles present near the leaf. As the sun started to shine brightly, there was increase in temperature. Because of increase in temperature, these molecules absorbed the energy and they escaped into the atmosphere, or they moved from this place and they went somewhere else. Now this area is lacking, means there is very few water particles. Now the stomata, through the stomata the water particles will start moving outside. Now you can say that if it is moving outside, water particles inside the plant is decreasing. It is decreasing, then what will the roots will do? It will start absorbing the water and it will conduct upside. This is known as transpiration pull. Transpiration pull means because of the increase in the temperature, water particles or the transpiration rate increased, and because of the increase increase in the transpiration or the rate of transpiration, roots started to absorb more and more water, and the xylem started to conduct more and more water to all the parts of the plant. This is known as the transpiration pull. Once we will read it. Due to constant temperature from the leaf, a suction force is developed. This force pulls water upward in the xylem's vessels. This pull is known as the transpiration pull. Transport of food in phloem. Now in the previous topic we were just studying about how water is absorbed, how mineral is absorbed by root hair, and how it is conducted throughout the plant. Now we will be talking about the phloem. As we know that by the process of photosynthesis, food is being prepared for the leaves, for the plant, and we know that gravity pulls each and everything downwards. Of course the leaves are on the top, and when this food is prepared, automatically it will go to all the parts of the plant through phloem. It is not a that much complicated topic. Only the topic which we have to study very much deep was xylem, the conduction of water. In this topic, the transport of food in phloem, it's simply that leaves will prepare, or it will synthesize, or it will make up the food for the plant, and it will be conducted to all the parts of the plant by the through phloem. And now we will be studying about types of transpiration. There are three types of transpiration. First is stomatal transpiration. Stomatal transpiration means, from the word you have to recognize, that is stomata. The transpiration takes place through stomata is known as stomatal transpiration. We know, as I told you earlier, stomata is a small opening pores on the leaf surface through which the water vapors comes out of the plant, that is known as stomata, and the transpiration which occurs through stomata is known as stomatal transpiration. The second one is cuticular transpiration. Cuticular transpiration. Now what is cuticular? Again we have to derive from the word itself only, cuticular. There is a layer on every plant, like you might have seen very waxy like substance in few of the plants. For example, cactus is there. In that you can see a white color matter over the plant, that is known as cuticle. And the transpiration which occurs or which takes place through cuticle, that is known as cuticular transpiration. And the third one is lenticular and bark transpiration. Now the transpiration which takes place through lenticular or the lenticular, again you have to derive from the word, that is lenticles. And the bark is the central the main portion of the plant. That tree, you can say bark is like, if tree is there, that brown portion, that complete brown portion is known as bark. And the transpiration which takes place through this bark or the lenticles, that is known as lenticular and bark transpiration. Now what do you mean by the term wilting? You might have observed, like when there is excess sunlight or mostly in summers, what will happen, that the plants start wilting. Mean it looks like sluggy type, or it seems like it does not have any more energy, like we say in Hindi, murjha jata hai. Why it happens? Because during the daytime there is excess increase in rate of transpiration. When the rate of transpiration is greater than the rate of absorption, means suppose if the root is absorbing water, but it is not absorbing at a high rate, in a high speed, but the transpiration is occurring in very high speed, then what will happen? Automatically the water molecules inside the plant will be reduced. Because of the reduction of the water molecules in the plant, the leaves will start wilting. मतलब जो leaves वगैरह वो मुरझा जाते हैं, उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में, इंग्लिश में सॉरी, wilting. Why wilting takes place? When the rate of transpiration is greater than the rate of absorption from the root hair, the leaves, stems and flowers of the plant begin to droop. This is called wilting. Now what are the factors that affect the rate of transpiration? First of all, what affects the rate of transpiration means transpiration. What are the factors? Like if transpiration is increased or decreased, how it can be increased or how it can be decreased. First of all, transpiration is more rapid in bright light. Why it is more rapid in bright light? Because in the presence of light, it will get the water molecules outside the leaf plant, it will get energy and it will evaporate. Now you can say the surrounding of the leaf or the plant, over there very few water particles are there, so the water particles that is present inside the plant, it will come out of the plant through transpiration, and the transpiration can be stomatal, lenticular or cuticular. Thus transpiration is more rapid in bright light. And if temperature is very high, I explained you earlier only, if temperature will be high, the water molecules present in the atmosphere, it will start evaporating at a high speed of rate, and so the water particles that are present inside the water, it will come out from the plant. Hence if the temperature is high, then of course the rate of transpiration will also increase. Moving current. How moving current, like wind, when wind is blowing, they are saying when the wind also blows, then the rate of transpiration increases. How? Suppose this is a plant leaf. Water particles are present in the atmosphere around it. Now when the wind is blown, these water particles that are present around the leaf, it will move somewhere else. Now you can say there are no water particles around the leaf, so the water particles that are present inside the leaf, it will come out. Then again when wind will blow, these water particles which now only came out, it has gone somewhere else. Then again the water particles that are present inside the in the leaf, it will come out. So like this, moving air current increases the loss of water from the leaves. Then the fourth is the thickness of cuticle and the number of stomata affect the rate of transpiration. How? It is a leaf. If more and more stomata will be present, then more and more water can evaporate. If more stomata will be there, the rate of transpiration will automatically increase. High humidity in the air reduces the rate of transpiration. High humidity in the air reduces the transpiration. Now what is humidity? Like humidity means moisture in the air. If more and more water particles will be present around the leaves, then there is no use of water particles present in the leaf to come out, because there is no place that water particles can come outside. So if more water particles will be outside the leaf, then there will be decrease in rate of transpiration. Importance of transpiration in plants. Transpiration leads to the concentration of sap in the plant cell, which helps in osmosis. Transpiration has a cooling effect on the plant. Salts move upwards in the plant due to transpiration. Through transpiration, plants expel out excess water absorbed by the root, but excessive transpiration may cause wilting and death of the plant. So by this topic, almost the chapter is covered up, and the last topic is nutrition elements in plants. As being a human, we need not only water, but we need many kind of nutrition like vitamin C, vitamin D, or potassium, or phosphorus, or sodium, whatever we too need for our proper growth of the body. So the same plant also requires many nutrition. Why it needs? For the proper growth and for the reproduction of the plants. Without the proper nutrition, there will be deficiency in the plant. The main thing that is to be studied in this is macro and micronutrients. What is the difference between micro and macro? Micro itself means small and macro means large. First of all, you have to read the definition. Plant nutrients are the elements that are required for life, growth and reproduction of plants. Without them, plant cannot grow properly. And this nutrition is differentiated into two parts, or divided into two parts, that is micronutrition and macronutrition. Now what is the difference between micro and macro? Micronutrition are the nutrition which plant requires in a small amount. Means plant require this nutrition, but in a very small amount. It does not require in an excess amount. Whereas macronutrients are the nutritions that is required by the plant in a large amount. Thus it is known as macro and micro. I hope that this video will be helpful for you, and if still you will be having any problem, please let me know. I will try to clarify the doubts, and please try to go through the complete video, though you will be feeling bored or not. Thank you so much.